Hey guys, this is Mistress Nightmare here, and today we'll be reading the last chapter of Forever Your Slender Man. Before we get started, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe to this channel if you guys want more creepypasta fanfictions out there. Until then, let's get started. The next few weeks passed in a blissful blur. Allison had slipped into a routine. Wake up, go to school, hang out at the coffee shop with Ash, and then on the days Camille didn't have any work to attend to, she would hang out at Camille's house. Things were possibly progressing really well with her and Ash. She truly felt a connection with him. He understood her like no one else had. She pondered the idea that they would have been lovers in a past life, but that quickly was pushed the thought aside out of her mind, declaring that it was creepy to even think that to herself. It was Thursday evening now, and Allison was pushing open the front door of her house. She just was dropped off by Ash a few moments ago. It was nearly 9 o'clock. She was really pushing her curfew. When she stepped inside, she noticed that both her parents were waiting for her at the dining room table, hands folded on top of it. She tried sneakily walking past them up the stairs, but they weren't going to have it. "Allison," her mother called. She slowly crawled back down the stairs. "Yeah? Can you please come down and sit?" "Shit," she thought to herself as she walked over to the table and pulled out a wooden chair. "What's up?" she asked, looking back and forth between her parents. They didn't look pissed, but they looked worried. "We noticed that you've been spending a lot of time with a boy who has been dropping you off. We don't know anything about him, not even his name," her father said calmly. Allison shrugged. "His name is Ash Castor." "Interesting name," her mother said quietly to herself. "What is he like?" her father asked. She just shrugged again. "He's nice. Hopefully not too nice," her mom piped in. Allison rolled her eyes. "Where does he live?" questioned her father. "I don't know. I have never been to his house." "You never ask?" She shook her head. "Does he have a job?" She shook her head again. "His parents brought him that nice car of his, I guess." "What's with the third degree?" Alice asked, irritated. Her mother shrugged and her feeble shoulders. "Nothing, honey. We're just noticing that you've been getting really serious about him." Allison was suspicious on how nonchalant her mother was trying to act. Something had to be up. They never questioned her like this. "Maybe you could have him come over for dinner sometime," her mother suggested. "Yeah, maybe," she responded after a few moments. The weird silence lasted a few seconds before she spoke again. "Am I dismissed?" Her father nodded. "Yes. And just try not to cut it too close with your curfew again." "Got it," she called as she jogged up the stairs to her room. What was odd way for them to be acting this way? She thought to herself. Usually they didn't care who she hung out with or if she passed curfew by half an hour. Not like she typically hung out with boys, but still, it was odd. She fell asleep, uneased and tossed and turned. Once she finally had taken undered by sleep. The night she had a nightmare. She had them. Long time, but they were weeks later, but too as bad as they were. It was like they never had left. She was running through the forest again, that tall, lanky thing behind her, following her. As he gained on her, the bruise on her wrist, the kept throbbing pain, it hurt like hell. Eventually she had to stop running due to the pain. But when she stopped running, that thing would catch her. It touched her arm when its skeletal hand touched the spot where her wrist was. It felt like a bullet had been shot through her arm. The mark on her arm expanded, growing into a pain. It grew in scale. After a while, it ended. The picture of a full-fledged tree-like thing. She glanced up at the thing that caused it to happen. When she looked at it, she recognized the picture on her arm is exactly the same thing that was standing in front of her. She woke up screaming from fright. Eventually, she glanced down at her arm when she realized to see that it had always been, and it had not grown since at all as she slept. The day she went to school in a daze due to her lack of sleep. She didn't do her makeup. She threw her hair up into a messy bun. Ash still didn't fail to compliment her, though, starting to look as beautiful as she ever did. It was nice to know that he would find her attractive. No matter how awful she really did look. She fell asleep about halfway through her classes and got yelled at by her teachers for not paying attention. Once the school day finally ended, she was walking outside by her car talking to Ash. So she said once more to open the conversation. "So what?" he asked, seeming a little amused as he brushed a stray piece of hair from her face. "My mom wants you to come over for dinner sometime." She spoke as casually as she could, but she didn't have high hopes for him to say yes. In all these weeks she had spent with him, she had never once seen him eat. She wondered if he had an eating disorder. He tensed after she asked him. "I don't know if that would be a good idea," he said stiffly. "Why not?" She asked, a little hint of whine in her voice. She really didn't want him to meet her parents. She thought so fondly. "It's just I don't think I should meet them yet." "Is there a reason?" she inquired. He shrugged a little stiff. It's not like I'm your boyfriend or anything. I don't think they will really need to meet me." Oh, Allison could muster that kind of punched her in the chest. Of course, he never asked her to be his girlfriend, but then again, she always assumed that they were kissing, holding hands, and always hanging out, just like an unsaid relationship between them. I guess she was wrong. "Well, I'll see you tomorrow," he said, leaning in and kissing her lips. She moved her head, so his mouth leaned on her cheek. "We aren't hanging out?" He shook his head. "I have a few things to do. Maybe tomorrow?" he offered. "Yeah, tomorrow," she responded and got into her car and drove away off to the distance with a wave goodbye. When she got into the car, she felt a little down. Okay, maybe a little more than down. She honestly thought they were basically dating. He said that to their face when they weren't. She drove out of the parking lot and headed towards the direction where she hadn't gone in a long time, of thoughts floating through her mind. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I'm glad. If you want more Ben John love stories, check out the playlist that will be popping up soon. Also, if you want any more fan fictions narrations, please check out my other channel, Reading with Blade, which has multiple fan fictions up already. If you are interested in the yaoi experience, check out Tyler O'Connell's channel if you want to go there. But note that channel is only 18 and up. I've been listening to Tyler's stories and I'm addicted to them. Until then, bye guys!